Hello, and welcome back to another WhiskAYE podcast, episode number 51, getting up there in the numbers. This is the second time I've recorded the intro because
Good
for
days.
some
So
reason
flawless start this, yeah. Thanks.
I can't get my mouth to say the Dram Team, but I can now. So,
Stuck in a loop.
yeah, we're saying the Dram Team, not the other one. This
Much as you
time,
like the other one, yeah.
yeah.
But
This time we're back again with another Dram Team box. This is the box for, I believe, October 2023.
it is.
It's a medley of malts is the theme. Now, the title card for this says, in this box, we explore what happens when wonderful single malts mingle with a remarkable selection of blended malt scotches. We've really pushed the blending boat out with this lineup, featuring hard to find and discontinued bottlings from lost distilleries, resurrected, and ABV whoppers to a famous 21-year-old malt whiskey in disguise. Slange.
So my understanding of a blended malt is a blended whiskey is a malt and a grain of some description together. A blended malt is two malts together. So it's still malt as from the single malt part. It's just not made all in one place.
Yes.
'Cause
Although
that's the single part, isn't it?
I do think it can be all from the one place, but usually you would just call that a married malt and
Yeah.
still be a single malt. So that you call it a single malt.
Oh, it'd have to be two finished single malts put together, wouldn't it? Because
Yeah.
if you take whiskey that isn't yet a single malt and mix it together from the same distillery, that's just a single malt still. It's just a finish.
Or a marriage, yeah.
Yeah. So this is
Which is
assumedly from different ones, but maybe not.
the reason I say that is because I'm not sure about some of them.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the cards say.
Yes.
So it might be a bit of an education for us.
Yeah. Lead in with the first one.
Yeah.
The first of two Lost Distillery Co. Whiskies we've got here, just to steal some of your thunder on the next one.
Yeah, why don't you tell the name of the second one as well while you're at it,
This is the Tullymore Archivist Selection.
Yeah.
So, the Lost Distillery Company have a unique approach to producing their rather excellent blended malts, resurrecting house styles from long ago closed distilleries. The Archivist range leans on their extensive academic research into lost distilleries and uses well-aged malts, typically from 15 to 18 years of age. Townmore operated in Speyside from 1897 to 1927 and produced liquid that was light and sweet. So that's how these Lost Distillery ones are done. So they're named for the distillery that they emulate, but they could be blended from a number of distilleries.
Yeah.
So that was the first bit I was confused about, because I was like, I know that Townmore was a distillery.
That's what I was thinking it was. But it's either they've recreated it from that, or Townmore did a blend back then, and they've just recreated it. So Townmore, did a blend from other distilleries, and they've recreated it.
No, I think what I'm reading from this is that they've blended from a number of distilleries to get a style that closely resembles what you would have got back in the day from a Townmore.
It is very light on the nose. It's quite orchard fruity, apple peel.
Let's see. You should be getting honeyed lemon tea, freshly proving bread dough, cinnamon dusted melon slices, and a whiff of eucalyptus oil. Melon.
Melon, yeah.
Eucalyptus in the end, I could probably get.
It's almost like vapor rub.
Yeah. It's a bit closer to like aloe vera smell for me.
Yeah, but it's like opening the sinuses kind of smell.
But less, yeah, it's got the opening sinuses effect, but I think that's the alcohol, because I would say it's less of a menthol, less of a menthol smell.
Yeah.
But yeah, quite sweet. I could get the tea, sort of like a sweet tea.
I still think it's a bit mentally because it smells cold.
That's true. Yeah. I'm not getting bread though. I'm not really getting much maltiness coming through.
No, I was getting maybe a little bit of like woodiness right at the start that I was worried was peat to begin with, but.
Well, are you ready to taste it?
Yeah, I'll have a sip.
This one is the 46% because it's that's the new 40% and then the new 43%.
So can I say some taste notes before you tell me what I should be tasting? See how
Yeah.
close I am. I haven't
yeah.
looked. That was quite woody.
Okay.
It's quite warm in at the end. A little bit maybe cinnamon, nutmeggy. It's quite. I was expecting it to be a lot sweeter. It's like not malty. It's almost like earthy.
Well,
what I'm
what
getting.
it says here is it's a full and rich, creamy palate with creme caramel. But then in the finish, it says as finishes go, it's very long with soft, sweet spices that seem to linger forever.
I got the
Now,
finish.
I would say nutmeg and cinnamon definitely fall into the sweet spices. Let me have a go.
I'm not sure I get creme caramel. Maybe salted caramel. There's a bit of sweetness, but there is quite a lot of earthy woodiness to it, in my opinion. Yeah, it's just making me think of like I say, like oakiness. Like it's definitely like a dark wood, not like a light wood. Yeah.
It does have like quite a long, but it's quite a mellow finish, not like super.
Yeah, that's what I was meaning, like kind of mild spice.
Yeah. It's creamy in the finish too. It's like weirdly spicy cream. Like if you were to get a cinnamon milkshake.
You could probably get a cinnamon milkshake, I imagine.
Yeah. This time of year you could definitely. Probably an apple pie milkshake somewhere.
Yeah, I bet the cafe up near me does one like that. They do a lot of fancy milkshakes and that.
Well, I mean, if you're making a good milkshake, you just need vanilla ice cream and whatever you want to flavour it with blended through it, don't you? So you could very easily just take like a slice of apple pie, chuck it in.
Yeah. I've ordered. I was like getting quite annoyed because I was wanting something chocolatey, despite having just blasted my calories at a whiskey festival not too long ago. So I ordered some of those bourbons, those big bourbons that I like. But they're arriving at the end of the week. I'm just like pretty excited. Also, I'm out for a leaving do tomorrow, so I'm going to be again drinking some calories.
Yeah, it's winter. You're getting the bulk on. I would be bulking right now if it wasn't
season.
If it wasn't for the fact that I was cutting.
Yeah.
But I've saved myself calories for this, so I'm okay. I mean, when I finish these whiskies, I'll probably go away and eat a packet of crisps or something and ruin it. But
that's the problem with booze. Makes you hungry somehow. Fills you with calories, but doesn't.
Fills you with calories, makes you hungry, and takes away all of your willpower to not.
Yeah, exactly. This is nice. I like this. It's pleasant. It doesn't feel like 46.
No, it's very, very, very smooth. Not in an insulting way.
No,
we've mentioned the other things. We're mentioning that at the end.
That was one of the questions that the friend that I went to the whiskey festival with, and just for his regular listeners, that wasn't because I didn't want to take my co-host. It was just conflicting schedules.
Yes.
And he was asking, what things can you say? What do you say when you don't like a whiskey, but you don't want to upset someone at the stall? And I was like, call it smooth.
Yeah.
They'll know from that.
Yeah, it's like a backhanded compliment. Calling it
you couldn't make any flavors, but it's still quite smooth.
Yeah, no, it tastes like nothing, but so does air, and that's smooth. So
smooth like air. Took you 3 years to make an empty barrel.
Yeah.
Did you want to score this one?
Yeah, I think that's for me. That basically falls right in the sort of 3.5 category right there. It's
I feel like it's
nice,
essential 3 for me.
Nice basic.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's essentially what they're aiming to do here is make a malt that is the base style of a distillery, right? So
a long closed distillery, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, if Towie opened up and offered that as a entry level, age 10 years or whatever, 35 quid, I wouldn't be opposed to paying for that.
I was talking to a friend about he was going to get a bottle of whiskey and he likes his whiskies. And he's like, don't know what to get. I'm going to go to the supermarket. Don't know what to get. I was like, get a Glenmorangie. If you're just wanting something easy, get a Glenmorangie. It'll be like £10 cheaper.
And it'll be
all right. Yeah. And he got a bottle and he was like, Yeah, it didn't like set my hair on fire, but it was very pleasant. And I was like,
Yeah.
and how much was it? Like 23 quid. I was like,
Yeah, you
it's
paid
cheaper than Jack Daniels.
you paid vodka prices for
Yeah.
an aged, like a premium aged liquor, as
Yeah.
Americans would say.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like a 5 out of 5, but it's a good 3.5, 3.
Yeah,
For that price, it's a 5.
yeah. If we considered value in our prices, Glenmoray's would get a lot more 5s, I think.
Yeah, they would. It's ridiculous.
But yeah.
So we move on to the next
We can.
lost one.
As much as I've spoiled the very beginning of it.
Well, you only spoiled the first bit, so I'll let you off. So this one is obviously a Lost Distillery Co. It's called Jericho, and it's also from the Archivist's selection. Card says, our second Lost Distillery dram brings back to life an even older malt whiskey. So take that. Founded in 1822, Jericho was located in Aberdeenshire and was known for specialising in small still distillation. The 1880s saw it renamed Benaki, and it ultimately closed during the First World War in 1915. Jericho was a sweet sherry cask matured malt with notes of vanilla and spice. Sounds quite good.
Yeah, Aberdeenshire, so Speyside adjacent. Highland, but
Highlands,
not.
Yeah.
But very much not. Like, if you told someone from Aberdeen they were in the Highlands, they would punch you in the face.
As if I get close enough to someone from Aberdeen to say that.
I mean, I'm from Aberdeen.
So was my other Scottish friend.
Yeah, but also, I feel like we both left, so we wouldn't be as aggressive about it.
I would like to visit it one day, to be honest.
I'm not going to lie. I feel like a lot of people from Aberdeen left because the oil industry is in pretty steady decline now. A lot of people have negative equity on their houses and stuff. It's not
I'm
good.
from South Yorkshire. Like,
yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So on the nose, do you want to do what I did and have a stab at what you think you're getting, and then I'll tell you if you're right?
Oh, I'm getting a lot of like caramel, like toffee even. Like it's very, I'd say, sherry notes definitely, basically.
So you should be getting cooked berries, figs, cinnamon, and a hint of vanilla provides a wonderfully complex nose. So I think, yeah, you were there. You were in that vicinity.
My sherry notes was the
cinnamon, the berries, red fruits.
I should have said some kind of dried fruit.
That's what I know. That's what you meant by sherry notes. So
yeah, it's like a vanilla toffee. It smells
very
Christmassy.
Sherry, isn't it? That's very sherry
this
whiskey.
Would do well in the next box. It's assuming making a bold assumption here off of trend analysis from the last 3 years that the next box is a very sherry Christmas.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I went on the website.
But,
I didn't see what's in it. I didn't scroll down that far, but I did see it was that.
Yeah, I think this would definitely have made itself well known in that.
Yes.
Might to go for a sip and try again.
Go for it. Tell me what you think you get, and we'll see. We should have like on the screen what the tasted notes actually are, and then tick it or cross it as you get. I mean, I'm not going to do that. It's just, I haven't uploaded one of these in a long time. So.
It's got that raisiness to it, but a little bit sort of salty, spicy, like maybe clove.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
What about the finish?
I'll have another little. It's not as long a finish.
I don't want to drink one. That's fine.
Not as long a finish.
So the palate, while you're trying to define the finish, it says dried fruit like raisins. So you nailed it. And candied ginger, which I'll let you off with clove spiciness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make way for malty notes. That's probably your salted caramelly.
Yeah.
Nuts. And hints of basil leaf. Or basil.
Not getting basil, but I'm not very good at picking out herbs or herbs for an American.
Herbs. Yeah.
It's sort of just a salty, a little bit woody in the finish, I would say.
Like, he's nailing this.
Like
white pepper comes through, and cedar.
Oh, cedar.
Yeah, if you can't tell you the wood taste apart, I'll let you off. With a final touch of blueberry, finally gives way for a uniquely old-style whiskey taste. So I can finally have a sip now.
Yeah. It is peppery. That is a good shout for it. White pepper, not black pepper, but actually white pepper, like the table pepper in a cafe.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. That's
Mhm.
quite wide. It's
Yeah,
creamy as well.
quite dry for what isn't that dry of a. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. So
like in the finish. I'm more talking. It's creamy in the.
Vanilla-y, like all the other flavors like dry out, but the vanilla
Yeah.
kind of remains.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm just making a couple of quick notes.
Yes, that the sort of pepperiness does sort of like bite in, but then it melts down.
Yeah.
That's when the cedar, I guess, comes in. I should spend more time chewing sticks.
There's a whiskey gift for someone you love.
Yeah.
Chewing sticks.
Apparently, that's a big thing for people who
Beavers.
well, but barbecue in America, where they it's more like smoking than barbecuing.
I thought they just got like hickory every time.
Well, but that's the basic thing that everyone goes for. But then the people who are really into it like to like make their own wood chip blends, rolls.
I mean, I'm laughing at them, and here's me.
I mean,
doing
yeah.
the same with whiskey. So if
To be
it
fair,
gives them pleasure and it's not hurting anyone, go for it.
I wouldn't even be surprised if the food at my wedding has an element of that, because the guy has his own smoker, so there's a brisket involved, possibly.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I was already excited about it.
yeah.
I might even turn up now.
The food is going to be.
I kind of guessed that the food and drink would be pretty epic.
Yeah, we're also inquiring about getting a keg of a session lager by Williams Brothers. That's so it's only, I think it's 2.5%. So it means that you can drink it and not get absolutely cattled. Basically, it's the same. It's the brewery that they use. So,
are you gonna do? Is there gonna be whiskies available?
There'll be whiskey there. I mean, we can pretty much specify anything, but I'll probably pick a whiskey that is available, because I can't pick the whiskey I would want to be available. But,
yeah, fair.
But also, for
Pete.
those of us who are in the wedding party, you can just have whatever you want in your room. You're allowed to.
Huh.
You're not allowed to take that into the main area, but you can go back to the rooms are in the venue. So.
Oh. There's benefits to this, is there?
Yeah, that was a dangerous thing for me at another wedding I was at, where my partner was a bridesmaid, though, because we ended up taking a room break with one of the other bridesmaids and her partner, and out came a half bottle of rum, and then me and the other partner failed to realise that the bridesmaids weren't really drinking anything, and basically drank the whole half bottle of rum between us, and then went back to the party much more drunk.
Like spinning the floor, and hot chocolates were getting spilled, and
all over. To be fair, that's just the price you pay for having a hot chocolate.
It is. That's just. I feel like I'm quite happy with that one, to be honest. Like, as embarrassing drunk memories go, I'm actually quite proud of that one, that my brain actually made that argument, and I kind of went, yeah, right.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you just be spilling it all over yourself? Of course,
that's what happens, isn't it? I hate it every time I get a hot chocolate. I just have to throw away the shirt afterwards.
Is this because you only ever had a hot chocolate as a child and as a drunk man?
No, I've had plenty of hot chocolates, but I imagine I generally have them sat down.
Yeah, true.
That's maybe what did it. But I mean, it didn't matter that it was a hot chocolate. It would have been any drink.
Any drink, yeah. Any drink in a cup, basically.
I was just shoving it into my face as I was walking, and it was just like going everywhere. And I was like, yeah, price to pay. Out of all the bad things that could happen from getting drunk on a canal towpath, that's pretty.
Yeah. To be fair, it could have, of all the bad things that could happen from spilling a hot drink on yourself, it's pretty minimal.
Yeah.
Probably helped you stay warm as well.
Yeah. Did you want to score that one, by the way?
Yeah. I would like to score that one slightly higher. I really enjoyed that. I think that is edging. Could be a 4.5,
but it is close. It is very nice.
I'll be generous. It's nearly Christmas. I'll give it a 4.
A 4. Yeah. Okay. think I'm going to stick to my 3.5, but
I'm on a 3.75 here, so I'm rounding up.
it might be one that I revisit.
I might revisit it as well. We'll see what else comes in this box. If this is pushing me into the next one's becoming a 5, when I don't think they really deserve that, then it might get dropped.
Yeah,
So,
fair. Well, I'm pretty confident that one of them will balance it at least back down.
yeah, well, yeah. We'll see in a minute.
Yeah, I might like it. I did get confronted at the festival by one that apparently only makes peated whiskey, and I didn't know that.
And you didn't work it out from tasting?
I did from the tasting. Yeah, I didn't smell it. I just went straight in, and then I was like, "This is peated." And he's like, "Yeah, all this stuff is peated. Do you like it?" I was like, "It's all right."
You were like smooth.
I'm gonna go get a hot chocolate. Did you want to move on to the next one?
I was just about to suggest exactly that. So
you've given me the first one and the next one. I have to look up how you pronounce it.
I'll let you have a go on how it's pronounced, but yeah.
No, I'm going to look it up while you're doing this.
Okay. So up next we've got Shetland Reel batch number 3. Sorry about my. There's a TV show called Shetland on BBC Scotland. It's a crime drama, but it's a thing with me and my partner. I always say Shetland, because that's how they say it. But hailing from the Shetlands, Saxa Vord Distillery, Shetland Reel represents this gin producer's first foray into whiskey via blending, and is an award-winning combination of Highland and Islay single malts. Could be. Let's see.
That smells gorgeous.
Okay. Batch 3 dates back to 2016, and we're only able to get our hands, typo here, but hands on it after inheriting a few cases from an industry contact that were quite literally discovered in a dark and dusty corner of a whiskey warehouse. So that's pretty fortunate, and we're pretty lucky to be getting this again.
Yep.
But there we go. Now that answers the question I was wondering was, Shetland Reel sounds like it would be a distillery.
Yeah.
So how have they got a blended malt? But they're not a whiskey distillery, I'm assuming, yet.
Yeah, a few of them do that. There's a couple in Wales do the same, where they take other people's whiskey and make their own out of it.
Yeah, I'm assuming until they get to the point where they start making their own whiskey.
Yeah.
So
in the Welsh Wind, that's the one. The Welsh distillery does it. This is like super toffee and like caramel pennies and like fudge, vanilla.
Yeah, you're gonna be surprised when I tell you what it says here.
Go on, how far off am I?
Sweet dried fruits, warming spices, and a wind-swept peat flavour on the nose.
I do not get peat from this at all.
Well,
do you?
I figured there would be peat. I've not sniffed it yet.
I did from Islay, but
yeah, I've put it into the main stream glass, but we'll see if that was a mistake in a minute.
No, I don't get any, and I'm pretty good at picking up on peat. Self-defense mechanism.
It's not smoky anyway.
No, I still think it's very caramelly on the nose, don't you?
There's a maybe treacly, maybe.
Yeah, but that kind of stuff, treacle, caramel, toffee.
I guess treacle is kind of a smokier toffee.
Bonfire toffee, I suppose, which is a bit smoky, but
in a bizarre, like treacle's a bit more burned than toffee.
Yeah, like molasses kind of thing, but it's not dark. It's just super. It's quite sweet.
Well, I'll move on to the palate and we'll see.
Well, wait. What
am I waiting for?
Me to taste. See what I get.
All right. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. That's not bad, actually. That's.
Is it noticeably got an Islay influence? Is what I'm getting from what you're saying.
It's definitely got peat, but it's actually really nicely handled. That might be.
Your highest.
That might be my favorite ever peated whiskey. That is like. It's super like vanilla-y sort of caramelliness, and then the peat comes in, but it's almost like a natural extension of the flavor. It doesn't overtake anything.
Yeah. So there's one more we've had that we've said basically similar things like that. So it's in rare company.
Yeah, it continues. It's definitely kind of like coastal peat, and the peat definitely develops into the finish and kind of takes over a little bit. But that's actually quite nice.
Right, so I'll tell you what it says here. So initially, Moorish vanilla and toffee notes, so pretty on there, from the Highland casks that are balanced then by the smoky flavours of the Isla cask.
I think I
So
nailed that.
that sounds about right what you said. And it says the finish is warming with lingering smoke and a well-rounded sweetness. So I'm looking forward to giving this a go
I
since
was
you've
miles
given,
off on the nose, but I think I nailed it on the taste.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think dried fruits do give off a kind of similarly toffee-ish. It's like a compacted, it's like a condensed sweetness. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's the first time that I've had a peated whiskey I can think of where I've been like, that actually balances. It doesn't take over.
You don't even notice it until you swallow.
Mm.
And then yeah, it's there, but it's
one of the flavors. It's not
yeah.
the flavor.
It's still very sweet.
Yeah.
Much sweeter than I was expecting, to be honest. Like I would put that like more into like honey syrup territory.
It's getting on for like single grain kind of vanilla sweetness.
Yeah. Like, but I would put that in like your maybe not like golden syrup, but like in a maple syrup kind of sweetness.
Yeah.
But not it doesn't have maple syrup's flavor.
No,
It's
but I know
like
and that
like-
degree of sweetness.
cane syrup or something like that.
Yeah, like on the Scoville scale of sweetness.
Yeah, it's not right up there like, oh, this is just about to be actually caramel syrup.
Yeah.
Sort of like agave. But
Agave, yeah, it could be. Oh, that's going to be difficult to score.
yeah, I'm in. The second sip, the smokiness is even less, which is obviously the palate gets used to it. But
see, the strange thing for me is it balances really well, but I'm still convinced it'd be better without the peat. I think that initial flavour is gorgeous.
I just don't think it would have a finish without the peat.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think it would die off straight away. Maybe not though. Maybe without the peated whiskey in there, something else would be something that's being actually overpowered would come through.
Could be. Well, I've had that because that was really nice, so I went straight through that. So whenever you're ready to score, we can score it.
That's smooth in a non-insult way.
It is, yeah. You want to go?
I'm just going to wash my glass because I'm aware that the peat could influence the next whiskey. But
yeah,
I would probably give that one a 3.5.
I think a 3.5, and I was severely tempted to go with 4.
Oh.
For a peated whiskey.
I tell you, 2023 is the year that Josh decided that he's now going to just be a big peat fan.
I don't think that's how. Well, I will I'll disavow you of that notion in 2 whiskeys time.
Yeah.
You will see. Seeing as we're at the midway point.
Also, we could probably do with a palate cleanser.
Yeah. Did you want me to talk about?
Yeah, if you would like to go into some.
I'll do a very brief overview. So, the festival that I went to was the English Whiskey Festival, hosted by Exploring English Whiskey, which, if you want to join, is £20 a year. It's very good value. Just a quick shout out there. It was in Birmingham at the Bond, which is down by one of the many canals in Birmingham. Bit of a pain to get to thanks to HS2 and said canals, but it was a good location. 2 buildings around, like, must have been like a little dock or something. This was like a deep water bit in the middle, which is a strange choice for a whiskey festival, but there you go. And they had good food, and they had coffees and that, and then they had a lot of English whiskey, basically English whiskey tables. Some of them didn't yet have whiskey. Some of them had things that they were sharing, like new make. Others they didn't even have that. One of them only had beer so far, so they were selling beer.
Selling?
Yeah, so they were doing like a pint for like £2 or whatever.
That's not bad, but
we decided not to.
Well, that Keith Brewery that was at the Stramash, they gave samples, but then we ended up buying the beer anyway.
Yeah. So there was a lot of the bigger ones were there. the Lakes was there. I think the English Whiskey Company was there. Spirit of Yorkshire wasn't, but that's fair enough. But there was a lot of really interesting ones. Some that I'd had before. So Henston was the first one and the last one we went to. We went full circle. Big fan of Henston. They're only a little one. There was a Yorkshire one I'd not heard of, Ella's Farm.
Oh.
That was quite good. Cooper King was there, the one that I'm a member of. That's a Yorkshire one as well. Went to talk to them, talking to I think she was their head like brewer or head taste. So she was one under Abby, who's like the founder, and I think is their head distiller. She was one under her. And if you ever get a leaflet from the Cooper King, there's a picture of a smiling woman coming out of a building. That was the person we spoke to. And the good thing about a lot of the English whiskey ones is because they're so small, the people manning the stalls were like the head distillers.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the PR people.
It's not. They don't have a whole team, do they? So
no. So some of them had like pourers on the spouts. Quite a few of them were a bit keen, and just had bottles. But yeah, I mean, let's see. Who did we do? I'll just go through the ones we tried. I won't go for the actual whiskies, but we did Henstone. Then we went to Ludlow, which is just outside Birmingham. Then we did Oxford Artisan, which had some lovely rye whiskey, some really good rye whiskey. Abingdon, which I think is just outside Oxford, actually. Adnams, which is down in Southwold. They do beer, I think, already. Circumstance, which is Bristol. White Peak, which is Derbyshire, just south of Sheffield. Ella's Farm, which is Yorkshire, as I've said. West Midlands. Now, the West Midlands is what I put as most interesting, because the West Midlands, they do something I've never heard of anyone else doing, and that is they only do single cask runs at the moment, and depending on what cask, they change their new makeup for that cask. So if they've got an Oloroso sherry cask and know it's going to be super deep and Christmassy, they make a lighter, sweeter new make. Never heard that before.
Yeah, I would be interested to do a tour there just to find out like how.
Yeah, so they are going to be open for tours soon, and we tried a couple of their new makes and a couple of their other things. Let's see, we tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at theirs. Andy tried 7 because he had the peated one, and I bowed out at that point. And also, I have now joined them as a member. So I think I get a free tour every year for 2. So next time you're down, we could go. Then we did Cooper King, Cotswolds, big fan of the Cotswolds, Mercia, Copper Rivet, which is London. Mercia is just outside of Birmingham, sorry, and then back to Henston. And so in terms of favourites, my favourite was the Adnams Port Cask. You did like that one a lot. And
Adnams, as in a beer company.
Yeah,
I would like that.
Cask whiskey was good.
What's good as well, so I would probably like a port cask.
Yeah, they did. Andy's was the Oxford Artisan Purple Grain, which is a rye. I really like the Oxford Artisan stall. I had a good time there. Andy liked the Adnams, and then most interesting, Andy said the Adnams, and I said the West Midlands. So it was really good. It was definitely worth a visit. I'm not trying to rub it in because you couldn't make it.
I'll get to one.
Yeah, there's plenty next year. But yeah, actually managed to write down all the 32 that I had over 5 hours, so was pretty sensible about it. And just had a really nice time. Just really good. Lots of good whiskies. Just typical, lots of like-minded people. And there was a point where Andy was like, well, I was saying, you need to talk more, because normally when we go to festivals, you're the talky one and I'm not. And then I was talking and he was like, you just need, I was like, you need to talk more. I was like, yeah, but you seem to know everything. Like when I was going to a stall or whatever, I'd know enough about that company to say something. So when I went to talk to Circumstance, I opened it up with like, oh, what weird and wonderful thing have you got for us today? And the guy shook my hand because Circumstance is weird, crazy things.
That's what they're basically known for. So.
Yeah, I mean, I've had one of theirs that was done in a plastic cask, but with twists of wood in it, that they said gave it more wood contact than a wooden cask. Personally, I didn't think it was very good, but they're trying things, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to try and,
Yeah.
If you just do, what was it? I heard a thing today which says that it was along the lines of, if you just answer the questions that your forefathers asked with the answers that they came up with, nothing will ever change.
Yeah,
So
especially in like
you should
English
take
whiskies.
their answers, but you should also think of your own.
Yeah, especially if you're in an English whiskey position, because if you
Yeah.
just answer the whiskey questions, as it were, with the same answers, you're just going to make a worse Scotch.
Yeah, a Scotch with no heritage.
Yeah, yeah, you're going to go up against a company that's been there for 200 years. They've perfected it. They make an excellent product that's marketed like you would not believe.
Yeah,
You really,
or even a company that's the same age as you, but they have the marketing of Scotch, and they also are able to say, okay, well, we aren't this distillery, but 2 miles down the road was a distillery, and we are aiming to replicate their style. And they shut
Yeah.
in the 1800s, and they nobody can confirm that claim, right? You could make whatever you want, but if you can open up a distillery near a closed distillery, you can say, well, we've had a think and we've read some books, and we're
Yeah.
off the back of words, we're going to make a spirit that matches that. Like, no offense to Lost Distillers, I'm sure they do a lot of work in this, but if you're sitting there saying that you're making a spirit that you think is like what would have been produced by an old one, and you're using that as your heritage brand, that's something that a Scottish distillery can do.
Yeah.
You can't do that if you're an English distillery.
Or even if you're
And
like a McNean, completely
yeah,
new, not
yeah,
trying to recreate anything, but you're new and you're Scotch. It's
yeah,
a
you've
plus
got.
point.
Yeah, you literally just walk into, okay, I'm Scotch, so I'm already in the top half of people's,
Yeah,
people
I'm
already
new and
have
I'm
elevated
Scotch,
me. Yeah,
therefore I've got quality guaranteed and I'm exciting because I'm new. Whereas if you're
yeah.
new and you're English, it's like, all right, and
What's the heritage? Yeah.
yeah, there's no
Even though England
guarantee.
did have whiskey,
Yeah, of course it
no.
did. But so yeah, I think they've got the right of it, and I think they'll be one of the ones that survives long term. Because I think
Yeah,
English whiskey is undergoing a huge boom at the moment. There's like 90 distilleries or something stupid now,
yeah.
but I don't think they'll all last.
No,
Unfortunately,
no,
I
no.
wish they
So,
would,
well,
but
the cream of the crop will rise to the top, as they say. You'll separate the wheat from the chaff and all that good stuff. That's similar, sort of.
yeah, yeah.
You know.
But yeah, absolutely. I think if you're wanting to do English whiskey festivals, now is probably the time before that happens. But also in that period where
Well,
you've got some older English whiskey still now. English Whiskey Company makes I think an 8-year-old now. They've been around long enough. So you've got some.
Lakes have probably got a few.
Yeah, Lake's got a few older ones.
Decent aged ones.
Yeah.
No one's probably knocking on Macallan or Glenfiddich's door, but
Yeah, no. English Whiskey's oldest, the one in Norwich, or just outside Norwich. But yeah, it's just worth it. And it's different, is the thing. To compare it to a Scotch Whiskey Festival. It's certainly not as maybe as boisterous as the Stramash. But the Stramash is the one. So
yeah, I think the Smash also, especially if you go in either of the evenings, especially if you go on the set. So if you go on the Saturday evening to the Stramash, that the second session, we didn't, but it's likely to get the people who are serving you are probably drunk by that point, so you just get free pours. And then if you go to this afternoon session on the second day, you probably are going to be limited on choice because a lot of things will be finished, but they will be literally trying to just empty the bottles so they don't have to take them home.
Yeah.
So it does get a bit, yeah. That happens a lot at Scottish Whisky festivals where they're just like, I don't want to have to carry this home.
There was a couple like that, to be fair.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I've opened it and I can't.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with it now? I'm not going to take
I've
it with me.
already
I
got
just end up pouring it away or
bottles
whatever.
of this in my house. So,
yeah. So, no, nice. I was always hugely recommend whiskey festivals. I've had nothing but good times at them. Even the ones where I've got too drunk. Nothing but good times. And on that, I will take us on to whiskey number 4.
Yes.
Which is a Weems malts.
That's what I would have said. Yes.
Yep.
There's a debate.
I saw that, but the poll came out at 76% for Weems against whatever for Wims.
Most of the Fifers that I've ever spoken to would call it Weems, and Weems Bay is in Fife, so
there you go then. They get to choose.
Yeah.
So it's Weems malts, Spice King, batch strength.
I think. Wait, I just want to double check. I'm right there. It might be. I'm thinking. It's not. Weems is the West Coast. I'm thinking somewhere else.
I'm
But
calling it Weems.
everywhere I've spoken to is called it Weems. I was thinking of a completely different place.
Fair enough.
But Weems is Weems. Everyone
Weems is Weems. Weems malts
I think.
offer a selection of flavour-driven malt whiskies with characterful names. This release takes their car Spice King style and dials the spice and the oomph up to 11. If you're a fan of spicy Highland Scotch, this will blow your socks off at 56%. So batch strength is cask strength, assumedly.
I'm wrong again. Weems is like Paisley, but yeah.
I'm kind of sad that there's only 4 whiskies in this box. But there you go. This is the last one.
Nope.
And then we'll have to hang up and reconvene in a couple of months. Thank you all for listening.
There's definitely 5. There's another one which might go crackly in a minute. But...
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So. No.
Right, no, I'm not going to let you ruin. That's future Josh's problem.
Yeah.
Go on then. I'll let you make some nosing notes, and I'll tell you if you're right or not.
Well, given that its name is Spice King.
Yep.
The easy option is to say spices, but
yeah, you get some points for that. I'd be impressed if you got the next tasting note, or nosing note. But go on.
It's sort of. It's got that sort of like earthy leatheriness to it.
Oh, that's yeah. Okay. Do you want me to tell you what it says?
Yeah.
So you get cinnamon, nutmeg, and anise. There's your spices. This is the one that I'd have been impressed that you got, with a touch of coastal ozone.
Oh.
If you'd have got that, I'd have been very impressed. But I'm still impressed because it says heavy notes of sandalwood and rich pipe tobacco. That's your leathery earthiness.
Yeah.
And twine with caramel sauce. So I am legitimately impressed.
Yeah. Your leathery earthy. What I'm thinking of is your sandalwood. It's your wingbacks in a smoking room. That's what that is, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah.
We've had that as a tasting note. I'm pretty sure, or you know.
Yeah, that was
an old, a well-polished leather wingback by a fire, in a Highland hunting lodge or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to be poetic in one.
Yeah.
And I can see why Sarah liked you now. Do you want to go in for a taste, and I'll.
I will do.
Oh no, go on. Actually, no. I'll let you taste, and I quite like doing it this way around. It means I have to fill a bit of dead air while you taste and that, but I also think it's quite fun seeing if we can come anywhere near what the card says.
Ooh, that's nice.
Okay.
Still spicy, but more of it's just like a salt and pepper vibe to it. There's an oakiness.
Ooh, that is spicy.
Maybe a little bit in the background, some kind of orchard fruit, but with it's like a cinnamon apple pie kind of deal going on.
I mean, you're not far off. You're touching some notes here. So it says sweet demerara sugar drizzled on carrot cake. So there's your sweet apple pie kind of vibes, mixed with zesty orange rind and intriguing coastal notes, providing a salted caramel-like flavour. So,
it's
they took a longer path, but they came to the same end.
It's baked goods and citrus. It's not apple. That's what it is.
Gentle spices tickle on the palate, intensifying to pink peppercorn. And the finish is a medium to long finish that jumps from caramel sauce to wood smoke and black pepper.
Got the peppercorn as well.
Yeah.
I said salt and pepper, but you know.
No, you did well.
And the coastal notes is the salt.
Yeah,
I'm happy with my attempts there. I'm close.
Both did pretty well in last two.
Yeah.
Orange rind.
That is a very. There's so much notes here that on their palate you could have very easily went into the poetic side of things.
Yeah, this is definitely one that lends itself to that. I'm wondering if that comes from dialing up the strength by 10% as well.
Probably a little bit, yeah. It's good.
You know, it intensifies flavors, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if this is a comment against us or against the whiskey, but I wouldn't say it was 56%.
No, but I think if you were to give this to,
A pleb.
a layman, also, a pleb, yeah, they would someone whose experience of straight spirits is knocking back Glens.
I feel like a lot of it is preparation though as well. Because do you remember when we went to the Bristol Whiskey Festival and I bought that bottle at James Eady,
mm-hmm.
and it somehow made its way back to the flat, even though I was smashed out of my mind. Maybe you had a hand in that. I don't know.
I wasn't trying to nurse it. I think I might have reminded you to pick it up because you bought it and didn't take it round the place with you.
No, I left it behind the table.
Yeah. I don't know if it's me that reminded you or if the guy saw you and says, "Oh, mate."
Might have been that one.
Oh, yeah. No, I know what it was. We went out and got a hot dog and then we were about to leave.
Yeah.
And then I think we both were like, we're forgetting something, and then you remembered.
All right, fair enough. But when I'd sobered up and I could look at whiskey again after like 2 weeks,
yeah,
I was like, oh, I best try it, see if it's as good as I remembered. And I'd forgotten that was cask strength, and it nearly destroyed me. Like cleared out my sinuses completely because I just took a big gulp, not a big gulp, but a hefty swig, and it's like 58% or whatever. I was like, woof. I mean, it's nice, but if you go into it unprepared, it does hit you. Whereas I think, really, we're sipping these at the most, aren't we? So.
Yeah, which is how it should be done. Like as much as on Deadwood, the I don't know if you ever watched Deadwood, but
yeah,
it's like, oh, I bet you he sips his whiskey too and all that stuff. That's because this whiskey they were drinking was swill.
What, Swagin?
Yeah. Cocksucker. There goes the monetization on this episode. But,
good old woo.
Yeah, worth it.
It's a great
I wish they
show.
actually finished that show.
Well, I did the film.
I haven't seen the film, so
it's good. It's good.
I need to go back. I would like to, but it was such a gap that I didn't want to watch the film without going back and watching the show, and then.
Yeah, me and Andy watched the show, and then the film came out like a couple of months later. So we.
So I watched the show when it was like out.
No, we watched it on repeat on like streaming or whatever.
Yeah.
It was good.
It's a very good show, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ian McShane is just a great actor, isn't he? And so is like Timothy Oliphant and
I was gonna say
a lot of the others. But yeah, Ian McShane steals it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Did you want to give that one a score?
I would like to also give that a 4, and I would like to say that I feel like that is, in my mind, was as good as the other 4 I did. So I'm happy with my previous 4.
Yeah, I'll go for a 4 on that. That was very nice.
Right, I've got a secondary glass here.
Yeah, as do I. One that's already been tainted because it's from Lagavulin.
Yeah, same. So I'm going to use the other pronunciation. This is a Whims Malt Peak Chimney batch strength designed for smoke fans. Well, that's not in the title. That's in the card. It's Peak Chimney batch strength.
Is that what it says on the card? Legitimately.
What?
Designed for smoke fans.
Yeah. Who would have guessed? This batch strength release of Whims Peak Chimney is so weird to say that. Is a blend of no less than 10 different single malts, including signature Isle of whiskies. The magical combination produces rich maritime aromas and potent sweet smoke finish. At a punchy 57%, it packs a real wallop.
It's not too peated on the nose.
I know where I know how to pronounce Weems from. Someone I work with is from Weems.
Ah, there you go. This isn't too peated on the nose, actually.
Okay.
It's quite coastal.
Good. What else have you got with that?
Earthy, coastally. There's like a lightness to it. Maybe not menthol, but kind of that.
Okay.
That could just be the alcohol, to be fair.
I can. Do you want me to reveal?
Maybe a bit of baked goods. Maybe. Go on.
So the nose, very poetic. Like standing on the seashore.
Coastal.
Yeah, with hemp rope and driftwood.
Yeah.
Lime-infused saddle soap, leather, and creosote. That'll probably give you some sort of a menthol effect.
Citrusy, mentholy. Yeah. I'll take that. All right. Well, it's been lovely knowing you.
Oh, it does have like a. It does have
Going
that
in,
soapiness. When
going
you
in for a
go back,
sip.
okay, you're going in. You got to tell me what you're smelling. When I'm getting this, leaving this a nose, the soapiness is really like it's like that. It reminds me of like when you get like artisanal soap. I'm not talking Lush. I'm talking like
Yeah, the soap I get is handmade.
market stall handmade soap. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got that you know
Yeah, I know what you mean.
alkaline but vegan kind of.
Sorry, I'm just trying to swallow my own face.
Oh. You got a tasting note for me?
Peat.
Okay, that is on the card. You're correct.
Yeah, it's. I
In
don't know if I
fact,
call it heavy or sweet peat or medicinal peat. That's quite coast. That's quite campfire peat.
okay.
A little bit burned, leather, tobacco, wood, that kind of flavors. That's all I'm really getting.
It's got peat smoked puffs over lemon salted fish
Right.
with water and salty and smoke notes. Well, with water, the salty and smoke notes come to the fore. So apparently, they're not as frontal as they could be.
It's not the worst peated whiskey I've ever had, but it's not
And
great.
a sweet smoke slowly sizzles to a softer finale. That's a weird way to pronounce finale.
Ah, jeez. That's the problem with peated whiskey. One of the problems. You don't get it in the initial taste. It's until you swallow it, and then it punches you in the goddamn face, being like, "Hey, I'm Pete."
I've got a new way to get around this.
You just throw it away.
No. It involves taking a slightly larger sip than usual.
Yeah.
And then not swallowing the whole first sip. So
All
keep
right, okay.
your tongue coated when you swallow.
I'll try that in my next sip.
The flavour on your tongue, and then the smoke comes through your soft palate. And you get kind of manage to get them both. I tried it on the last one, and I thought it was working, and I've tried it again here, and it did work. So I don't know if I've invented something here, but it seems to be working for me.
You just reminded me of, you remember his friend on the Isla trip when how she did her tastings, and then we were like, "Oh, never seen anyone do it like that or whatever." And then the guy at like Lagavulin or whatever was like, "Yeah, that's how you should do tastings." God damn it! This is a second ever tasting.
He's also wrong though.
Yeah, well, he works at Lagavulin. What does he know about whiskey?
Yeah, what you're going to do if you do that at Lagavulin, you just have a mouthful of smoke. You're like, oh, it tastes like smoke. I'm not going to lie, I did enjoy the Lagavulin tasting, but
I enjoyed the I'm not enjoying this, but I enjoyed the Lagavulin tasting. Yeah,
I'm actually enjoying this one quite a lot.
I'm happy for you.
I don't know that it's lemony. I wouldn't say there's fish in there.
You know what I'd like to find from a whiskey?
Hmm?
One that pains you as much as a heavily peated one pains me. Because I think you get a lot of enjoyment out of whiskey from drinking it, but also on the sure knowledge that anytime we go to anything that's got a lot of whiskey in it,
Oh, I
be
do
one
definitely.
that I really hate.
I do definitely get a bit of a kick out of like
Yeah.
knowing that even though I probably am not going to enjoy that one as much as I would enjoy the others, you're going to hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I see it in your face every time we've ever been to a festival or whatever.
Especially if I drink it and you don't know what's coming yet, and then I'm like, oh,
yeah, I see the little glimmer in your eye, being like, he's going to hate this.
Anticipation, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I know what this is. I'd love to find one, a style. I know you don't like I like the salt in a Glen Scotia, and you don't like it that much, but you still like it. I just need to find a flavor that you hate as much as I hate peat, and then convince people to put it into the whiskies.
I'm trying to think what flavor I don't like. Because a lot of people don't like anise, but I like anise.
Yeah, I like anise.
A lot
of people don't like.
I mean, I grew up. Yeah,
but,
same vibe in it. I grew up going to Greece though, so you can't really do
ouzo.
Well, not just ouzo, but like they put anise in like half of their signature dishes, like stefados and moussaka, and that is all heavily anise.
Yeah. And it's like the best food on earth.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's Italian or anything from the Med is the best food on earth, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Greek food. I like Italian food a lot. I mean, it's impossible not to.
Yeah, big fan of separate Greek foods. To be fair,
Yeah.
But they got
Well,
the halloumi influence in there. Just enough Turkish to make it good.
yeah. I mean, that's where my favorite Greek food comes from. When I visited Cyprus, was just.
I mean, I've never
it
been to
helps that
Cyprus,
you're in
but I know
Cyprus.
I've never been to Cyprus, but I know what the Cypriot influence is, which is it's mostly halloumi or
Yeah.
Turkish. So gyros, I think, is a Cypriot.
Yeah, it is.
But
yeah, and halloumi is like amazing.
Yeah,
it's such a good cheese. I remember being in Cyprus, and
I'm also a fan of feta, which a lot of people
yeah,
are.
I'm a fan of feta. Yeah, my mum is a huge fan of feta. I remember being in Cyprus, staying at a friend's place because the people that I was at uni with, like a bunch of them were from Cyprus.
Yeah.
And I was staying at one of their houses, and typical Greeks, super welcoming, super friendly.
Fed you about 7,000 calories every day.
Yeah, make yourself at home. You don't touch the washing up after the dinner. That's not for you to do.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Here's
And I
some
remember,
bread. Don't use the butter. Use the good olive oil.
Yeah. And I remember like being sat, and they had dinner like out on the porch. It's like an outside porch kind of thing because obviously it's boiling there.
Yeah.
And they'd done like this huge spread. I don't know if it was a normal or because they had a guest or what, but they'd done this huge mezes of like the souvlaki and chef tayar and all this stuff, and it was amazing.
Eclectical, probably.
Yeah, and they had like constant pitters, and they had loads of halloumi and all this. And one of the neighbours came around to ask the dad about something.
And he's like, "Can I sit down, have?"
And he's like, "Oh, come on!" And all the neighbours' family came over, and they all had, and it's like kind of jealous of that.
But also, you realise you cooked enough food to feed an extra family here.
Yeah, but I'm just
But
kind
they
of
would have
jealous.
just had it as like picky food the next day as well.
Yeah,
like,
I'm just kind of jealous that they're in that kind of a culture where the neighbour comes over, you're like, "Oh, come and eat with us," Yeah, it's nice. It was just really nice, just a really nice place.
Yeah, Greece is.
The Greeks just
Now, like
good
I have one problem with Greece. They are very blasé about history.
Yeah,
Like
they've only recently got serious at.
So Rome, right? I went to Rome, and you go around every bloody corner, and they've got something marked off that's from either antiquity or the Renaissance, right? The whole city, they're like, oh, here's a thing that's 2,500 years old, or here's a thing from like Michelangelo painted a piazza or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you go to Greece, and they're like, oh yeah, here's like there's like I was on Rhodes, and there's a bit up the road from Rhodes town, and on the maps it says, oh, temple to Zeus in Athens, Zeus in Athena, right? And you're like, oh, right, so there'll be like some ruins there. It was literally an overgrown field, and then there was like one bit of marble with a plaque.
It must be difficult though, because like it's expensive for us to maintain our things, and we've got nothing compared to what they've got.
Also, I guess
your country.
There's also another big issue that is that the Greek islands weren't in the control of Greece for most of their history, so they were
Athens.
Yeah, but I mean, like
by the Ottomans, wasn't it?
Well, so the Greek islands were Turkish for a long time, and then they were Italian for a long time, and then they were given back to Greece because they were culturally Greek, is what they said.
It's difficult, and if you've got as much history, as much ancient history as Greece, you must have to pick and choose what you can preserve, because otherwise you'd spend your entire GDP on preserving it.
Yeah, as well in Rhodes, they're like, yeah, who cares about that? We had we had one of the 7 wonders of the world, and it fell over.
This is what annoys me with, like, have you seen being in the news recently about giving the Elgin marbles back?
No.
So basically, Keir Starmer said if he was PM, he'd agree to a loan of the Elgin marbles back to Greece in return for them sending us things from their collections that we could do like on a rotating basis in the British Museum. And people have been like, oh yeah, but if you loan the marbles to Greece, they'll never give them back. It's like, that's the point. He's trying to give them back without giving them back. Yeah,
we're saying, do you want them back? And then you can send us stuff and we'll have that on display instead.
So Rishi was meant to meet with a Greek PM and then cancelled the meeting at the 11th hour because he's weak. And Keir met with him. And then everyone's been like, oh, Keir Starmer, we're going to give the marbles back. It's like, give them back. Jesus Christ. It doesn't mean anything to us.
Yeah. The British Museum is currently full of stuff that we stole, whereas it could be full of stuff that people gave us, and we would be looked on much nicer by the rest of the world.
It's just like it's like, okay, the argument was always, yeah, but if we give them back, they haven't got places to store them and they'll get destroyed or whatever. But it's Greece. The Parthenon, apparently, I haven't seen it. I'd love to, but it's like
In the stores.
yeah, it's a really cool museum now and everything. So just give them back. It doesn't mean anything to us culturally. Just
Yeah.
I don't see why it's even an argument. Just
Why are they even the Elgin marbles?
well, because he bought them from the Ottomans, didn't he? But it's just Just give them back. Who cares about what argue? I'm not saying that Elgin bought them illegitimately or he stole them. Don't care about any of that. But just say,
Well, if anyone stole them, it was the Ottomans, isn't it? But
yeah, it's like if someone bought Stonehenge when we were conquered at one point in his history, it means means something to us. It doesn't mean anything to them, so give them back.
Yeah.
Easy diplomatic win for literally no one's going to be like, I would have voted for Keir Starmer, but he gave the Elgin marbles back.
Well, unfortunately, well, no. Let's be honest. Nobody was going to vote. Nobody who is worried about that was going to vote for Keir Starmer.
Exactly. Yeah, it's disingenuous at best.
Yeah.
Anyway, did you want to score the peat chimney?
I actually found that the peat, the first mouthful of the peat chimney was very peaty, but then I feel like it, my palate very quickly adapted to that. And then using my method of keeping my tongue coated whilst I was swallowing the first swallow of each sip, resulted in it being quite pleasant. So I was going to give that a 3.5. I think.
I'm going to go 2.
I could see why.
It was just too much for me. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to lie. I feel like what happened is in Isla, you went from this disgusts me to I can put up with this, and I went from I can put up with this to being like, this is actually all right.
Yeah,
I feel like if we went back for another tour, you'd be up to this is all right, and I'd be up to it's good.
But the thing is with Isla, we didn't do all the distilleries. There's plenty more for us to visit if we did go back.
We did all the big ones.
We did the southern ones.
We did the
big 3.
The Smoky Mile or whatever.
Yeah, we did the big 3, like Rule Lafroig and Ardbeg.
Yeah.
And then we did,
on a cracking day, worth the walk.
Oh, it was beautiful.
So lucky. It was only rained on our day when we had to go home. Like
it was, yeah. I mean, Scotland itself is a gorgeous country, but Isla was almost something else.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous, and like you say, it was just beautiful sunshine. It was warm.
Yeah.
It was just gorgeous. They're beautiful, and the good thing about the island distilleries that we went to is they're all coastal.
Yeah.
So you sat on the coast.
For the most part, apart from, I think, what's the one in the big town?
The centre town.
Yeah.
Balmore.
Yeah, but apart from Balmore, I think they're all coastal, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I mean, we did Kalila, Boonhaben, Ardenhoe, which is a new one, and then the Froig, Lagavulin, and Ardbeg. So 6. There's obviously ones we didn't do Balmore in the middle, and there's ones up on the northwest that we didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we did the big 3 in that, but we did all those. I mean, still, I think the happiest I've been is being sat in Boona.
Yeah.
Just looking around at good friends.
That morning, I feel like the weather could have went either way on the morning we walked up to Carlisle.
Yeah.
And then it decided, it was like, these guys deserve a holiday.
Especially because that was from getting up at 5 a.m. after sleeping next to a constantly detonating atomic bomb.
Yeah.
So that was just I just remember one moment just being sat at that table looking around at everyone at the table and be like, it's all right, this.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is with the whiskies, we tried all those whiskies and there was some good whiskies, some bad whiskies, whatever. But then we had those 2 that we'd brought with us.
Yeah, and everyone was like, oh, these are good.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I like Pete. And it's a bit unfair because we were having, you're doing tours, you have entry-level whiskies.
Yeah, we
had a couple of decent ones, but not.
Yeah, but they're never going to tip up, unless you spend money. And you're not going to spend.
You're not going to give them a £200 bottle of whiskey, are you? So, and that's what we brought, basically.
Yeah.
But anyway, final one.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I've had half a pint of water since we finished the peat smoke, so should be good to go.
So, this is a collaboration between two enemies, by the looks of it.
I don't know about enemies. I think a major
Rivals?
player and then a person who has cornered the market in. I wouldn't even put them at rivals. I would say that the Dram Team are the gold standard in whiskey subscriptions. To the point that I don't even think Master of Malt do theirs. I think they tried to run it. Do they still do it?
They do, but they rebranded it.
Oh, did they? Because the curation on that was pretty terrible, to be honest. But I would say that Master of Malt's main like market share is in being a whiskey shop.
Yeah, purveyor of whiskies.
Yeah, a purveyor. That is the word I was trying to remember.
So, do you want me to introduce you to this one? So this is the
stole your thunder again. Sorry.
No. This is obviously the Master of Malt, Westport, aged 21 years. Where on earth is Westport Distillery? And isn't this a single malt, you might ask? Well, Westport does and does not exist, being the name adopted when single malt from the famous Glenmorangie distillery is teaspooned. A wee drop of another single malt technically renders this well-aged liquid a blended malt instead. Technicality, schmecknicality, we say. Enjoy this 21-year-old dream dram. So this is basically a 21-year-old Glenmorangie.
Yeah, this is on the title card when they said a 21-year-old malt whiskey in disguise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
21-year-old Glenmorangie in a box that you pay whatever we pay for is pretty silly.
Yeah. But, do you want me to give us a nose and tell you what I think?
Yeah. What do you get?
So, on an aside before I do this, just to drag it out, I've had a few Glenmorangies and I've never been like fully enamored.
I feel like I've had Glenmorangies like at pubs where it's like they're slightly better, where they've got like Jack Daniels, Bell's, and then Glenmorangies their single malt.
Yeah,
and it's their entry level one.
It's their non-Isla single malt because almost everywhere has either a Lafraiga, Lagavulin, or a Ardbeg.
I'd say Ardbeg was the least common, but
yeah. Ardbeg means if you're in a place with an Ardbeg, they've probably got all three and some other stuff. But
yeah. What would you say?
There's it's like smells like lemon boiled sweets.
Okay, yeah, lemon.
Or like a citrus.
Yeah. Anything else?
I'll
tell you what I got from it.
Sugar. There's something sugary.
I got baked goods.
Yeah, like could be like an iced bun or a yum nut.
Yeah, I mean this is a tart tatin. It says so. Yeah, tart tatin, but for common folk like us. With buttery pastry, an elegant spice, so baked goods. Is followed by, and this is where you come in, waxed peels and orange zest.
Yeah, so I was getting like candied citrus. So that's like and then there's a baked good in there. It smells like a lemon drizzle cake actually.
That's a good one. I like that. I'm gonna make a note. I would 100% agree that it smells like a lemon drizzle cake. And now I just want a lemon drizzle cake to be honest, because it's ridiculous. When you have a lemon drizzle cake, do you have the bits of like candied lemon on it?
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh, it's the best bit.
Sorry, my dog's just decided that he wants to come and sit with me instead of.
No, he's a co-host. He's more than welcome.
He'll probably bark, but yeah.
Well, that's because he's giving you tasting.
He's telling us. He's like, nah, it's Pete. Putting it in.
Yeah.
I'm from Romania. We don't like that kind of stuff.
Do you want to go for a taste? Then I'll tell me what you get.
Yeah.
And We shall see if you're close to the tasting cards. I'm sure Bear will correct you if you're not. He's always had better taste than you, so
That's quite interesting. That
interesting. Okay.
this is hard because I've maybe got 1.5 sips left after my first sip.
Yeah, yeah. Any comments you'd like to raise against the taste?
It's got like a raw like a cane sugar, not cane sugar, like a brown demerara, treacly, but not quite treacly.
Yeah. Shall I put you out of misery?
Yeah, I'm struggling on this.
So the palate is mega fruity with dried orange wheels, stewed orchard fruits, and sweet tropical notes. The finish, layers of toffee tangled with woody spice, finishing up with a touch of cinnamon and earthen vanilla. As soon as he said dried orange wheels, and I had a sip, it just makes me think of like a dried slice of orange. And that's unfair because I'd read it before I tasted it.
It was, the problem was that it was sweet, but it wasn't. It does taste like a dry sweetness.
Yeah.
And that's why I was going through types of sugar, because I was like, it almost has a grittiness to the flavor, like the texture of sugar. And a dried fruit makes much more sense in that. That's something that I wouldn't have thought to do because I'm not an artiste.
Well, there you go. You see. Yeah.
But Glenmorangie has always got that.
I think it's known for it, isn't it? Like
Sweet,
orangey,
oranginess.
yeah, citrusiness.
The color of it is usually pretty orange. You know what I mean? Like it's. And it's never been the one for me. This is okay. I wonder what they teaspooned it with, but
yeah.
For me,
we can go straight into a score if you want.
I've still got a little bit. I'm just.
All right, I'm gonna say it felt like you were debating the score at that point.
For me, it always feels like this tastes like a Glenmorangie.
Yeah.
But a bit different, maybe. But like I've always felt like they're a bit maybe like, I don't want to call them one note because they're clearly not one note. If you read the tasting notes, there's multiple notes. But like
a Glenmorangie is a Glenmorangie is a Glenmorangie.
There's many other distilleries that are exactly as streamlined. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest, Aberlour, one of our favourites, pretty much down the line, always pretty much. Decently sherried spirit that is probably a little bit stronger than 40%, unless it is the one that's discontinued and I have very little longer left.
And it's degrees of sherriedness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the same flavour. It's just, for the most part, it's just how heavily does it go from the vanilla-y side of the spirit to the sherry side of the spirit.
Yeah.
It's on a spectrum of, here are the two sides of our flavour, and you're in the middle of here.
Yeah.
So you're either a Boona or a Kazenam, or you're not even a 10, actually. 10's pretty much in the middle of there. It's more like the 12, I think, is the one that's on the lighter end.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
But for me, it's just that Glenmorangie's flavour obviously is one that I'm less. It's more subtle.
Yeah. Well, it's a personal thing, isn't it? If like you weren't a fan of sherried whiskies, and Aberlour, you'd be like, yeah, okay, it's good whiskey, but it's not for me.
I've got a friend who loves Glenmorangie. Like, it's probably his favourite whiskey. Orders it whenever he sees it, but he's not a whiskey drinker. But when he sees a Glenmorangie, he'll have a Glenmorangie. You know.
I mean, people are allowed to be wrong. Yeah. Did you want to score that one?
After saying all that, I still think that's a 3.5.
Yeah, I would go with 4. I quite liked that, the dried citrus notes. It was different. But That's the point. We don't have to agree.
Yeah, I mean, we're not far off, are we? We're still saying it's a good whiskey.
Yeah.
I'm not out
You
here.
hate it. I like it. Not far off.
I'm not out here calling it a 1.
No, it's not peated.
Well, I gave the peated ones both 3.5, I think, this time. So.
Yeah, you did. So that was another Dram Team box. By the time you're listening to this, the world may have ended again. Who knows?
Although that is us with no boxes in reserve.
Yeah, we've caught up with the boxes in terms of drinking. I just need to get better at the uploading.
We have a backup plan for not having boxes to drink.
We're like 9 behind on the uploads.
Yeah. And so 2024 people, 2025 people probably.
Yeah. Market.
When you're listening to this, we'll be probably coming up for a period of very Christmassy whiskies. Let's hope it doesn't fall in the July to September period of the year.
No, because people will be nostalgic.
Yeah, because we're not only are we due delivery of
is he going to commit on live television?
I'm going to commit on live television. Yeah. Not only are we getting a
Sherrymas box.
But I think we will both be committing to a pretty much unbeatable deal from the Dram Team, where they're helping some of their friends out by getting rid of some dead stock and buying a WhiskAYE calendar, which is 25 doubles that we will have to.
I've already bought it.
Yeah, chain through. But that'll be 5 bonus episodes that will fill in the gaps until the 2024 February bonus boxes.
I think, like when you see streamers do marathon streams.
Yeah. Do them back to back.
Yeah,
Boxing
a marathon whiskey drinking session where we do 25 doubles. Yeah. How many hours would you need for that not to get you destroyed? 25?
Yeah, probably close. Yeah, like over 12 anyway, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think we would be pretty wobbly for the last 4 if we did it in 12 hours.
If we had cameras and equipment and an audience, it would be a great opportunity to do some live streaming of games.
Yeah.
And doing a double whiskey every half hour. Yeah,
I would be in the mood to double whiskey, talk about for 15 minutes, spring break on GTA, which if we ever came for gaming channel, I'll teach you all how to do that. And then, although by the way, by the time this comes out, GTA 5 might be on the cards. So.
6.
6, sorry. GTA WhiskAYE, I'm hoping.
And the latest release of Skyrim will be coming out as well.
Yeah, Skyrim for the the new very exclusive PS Pro, Xbox Series X Pro.
No, it'll be real Skyrim. It'll be like Todd dressed as a dragon and Todd dressed as Odds and that.
Yeah.
Running around in your back garden.
I'm sure you can already get that on PC. It's just called mods.
Yeah.
Or Todd's, I suppose.
Todd's, very good.
Yeah.
Yep. But after that ridiculous segue, as always, thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed.
Yes.
Hope you're having a great 2027.